Michael wasn't smarter than me, didn't make more money than me, and honestly, he wasn't even as disciplined as I was. But that day in the office break room, when he casually mentioned he needed to check on his second property over the weekend, it felt like someone dumped a bucket of ice water over my head. How could someone who spent more freely than me own 2 houses while I'd been grinding through 10 years of strict saving and was still standing in the exact same place? That's when it hit me. The thing I was most proud of, having 0 debt, was actually the biggest mistake of my life, quietly making me poorer every single day. If you think saving money is what's going to get you to your dreams, this story is about to shatter everything you believe. I was the guy everyone called smart and responsible, the one who always kept something in his pocket for a rainy day. For 10 full years, my entire life revolved around budgeting. I skipped Starbucks because I told myself I could save that money instead.
I didn't buy brand name clothes. Every month, the second my paycheck hit, I'd move a chunk of it into an account I promised myself I'd never touch. I kept telling myself, "You're doing it right. You have no debt. You're free." But there was a bitter truth I'd been hiding behind all that discipline. After 10 years, my net worth was almost exactly what it had been on day one. And my purchasing power? Thanks to inflation, I was actually poorer.
I was running a race where the finish line moved further away every single year. And it was right in the middle of those days that one conversation with Michael in the office break room changed absolutely everything. It all started in the break room at work. Michael, a coworker, was casually talking about his weekend. Mid-sentence, he dropped it. "Yeah, I had to swing by my second place. My tenant called about something that needed fixing." My spoon froze in my hand. Second place? Michael and I had worked together for years. I knew what he made. It wasn't more than me. I'd watched him order takeout for lunch. I'd seen him wearing an expensive watch. Meanwhile, I brought my lunch from home every single day, counted every dollar, and was still just dreaming of buying my first home. How did he own 2 properties? I smiled, one of those fake smiles you put on when you have no idea what's going on, but you're too proud to ask. I looked down and finished my food. But inside my head, one voice was screaming, "How? How is that even possible?" That night, I couldn't sleep. Every single calculation I'd made over 10 years about doing it right had turned into a giant question mark. I couldn't hold it in anymore. For days, Michael's words had been eating at me. Finally, after a meeting, while we were packing up our stuff, I walked straight up to him and asked, "Michael, how did you buy that house? I know what you make. How did you pull it off?" He looked at me with a simple smile, like I'd just asked the most obvious question in the world, and said, "I got a loan." I blinked. "You mean you have debt?" His answer turned my world upside down. He said, "Yeah, good debt." Good debt? Until that moment, the word debt meant one thing to me: being broke, stressed, chained down. But Michael was talking about it like it was a tool. He explained how he used the bank's money to buy a property, and now his tenant's rent was paying off the mortgage. He was building wealth with other people's money, while I was using my own money just to keep up with inflation. After that conversation with Michael, I wasn't the same person anymore. I started digging. I read books, listened to podcasts, and talked to people who actually spoke the language of money. And that's when I discovered something school and society never taught us, something almost embarrassingly simple. Debt has 2 types. Bad debt is the monster we've all been warned about. It's the money you borrow to buy things that lose value. A luxury car, designer clothes, a vacation you put on a credit card. It's a hole in your pocket that swallows your money every month and never gives it back. But good debt is a tool. It's money you borrow to buy something that generates income for you, something that grows in value over time and pays off its own installments. The only difference between the two comes down to one thing: the direction money flows. Bad debt pulls money out of your pocket. Good debt puts money back in. Michael had gotten rich using good debt. I had been burying my opportunities alive by running from any debt at all. Understanding this secret wasn't enough. To actually buy my first property, I took 3 hard but critical steps, and they might just be the key that unlocks your life too. First, I redefined what saving meant. Instead of parking money in a savings account where it just sat there losing value, I started converting it into assets that grew with inflation. Even small amounts, I refused to let them sit as cash. Second, I built my credit. I realized that to access good debt, the bank needed to trust me. I cleaned up my finances and worked on my credit score so that when the right opportunity came along, the bank would be happy to lend to me. Third, I killed the fear. The hardest moment was when I had to sign on the dotted line for the biggest loan of my life. My hand was shaking because my whole life I'd been told don't go into debt. But I looked myself in the mirror and said, "This debt isn't going to consume you. This debt is going to work for you." And the result? 6 months later, I got the keys to my first apartment. The monthly payment was significant, but the rent covered most of it, and the property's value was climbing right alongside inflation. I had finally stepped off that endless treadmill. Here's the hard truth. The world doesn't reward people who only save. It rewards people who have the courage to use the right tools. So ask yourself honestly, are you burying your money for a rainy day, or are you building your future with it? Let me know in the comments.